Hello, everybody, and good morning. This is Dave Daughtrey, or good evening, good night, depends on where you are. Chances are we've got people from all over the world joining us here today. So I want to welcome everybody to our Saturday morning webinar. Before I begin, I just want to make sure that we've got everyone on here and that you can hear me. So if somebody could just put in the text that you can hear me, I would appreciate that. And then we'll move on. Great. I see some, Michael. Good morning, Michael. Alex, Monica. Great. You can hear me. Okay, wonderful. Every time we do this, by the way, I'm always going to ask just to make sure you can hear me. Otherwise, I may end up talking to myself for a whole half hour or 45 minutes or an hour. So first of all, I want to bring everybody up to speed on everything that's been going on. We just returned, Gabby and I just returned from Southeast Asia. We did a tour over there, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia. And then I leave for Africa on Tuesday, come back, and then I'm home for one day, then off to Colombia. Now, all of this is in the calendar. So everyone, if you're already aware of this, great. If not, please make note that we have our gofordna.com website. That's DNA.com website. And there's actually some polls that you'll be receiving during this webinar. And I believe one of them is whether or not you know about the Go for DNA site. Is that correct, Corey? Okay. So I'd encourage you, everybody, to just go into the site every so often and just kind of see what's been updated, because there's going to be a lot of updates going on. In fact, we're going to be loading some things up in there this coming week in the training section. And the calendar is there, so look at the calendar. You can see what's going on. As time goes on, the calendar will fill up. I just mentioned my agenda coming up. We've got the Korea, the convention, the Asia convention in Korea. And then we'll be having regionals here in the U.S. as well coming up that Nathan Larson is preparing. So a lot of things going on. Now, just to give you an update on the trip, many of you probably saw on Facebook, we did begin, just so everybody knows, we did start a DittoTalk Facebook group. So you can go on Facebook and just put up in the search For Life DittoTalk, and that's with 2 T's. So For Life DittoTalk. And I would encourage you to join the group because you'll see testimonies and what's going on. People using DittoTalk, some suggestions, and also some testimonies. We've got some people that have started using DittoTalk, and I've seen how they've been able to become master presenters. We've got people now in Malaysia and in Singapore that have sponsored people in the U.S. They've sponsored new distributors in the USA using DittoTalk. And that was really the purpose of this to begin with, was to both encourage and enable people or distributors to sponsor long distance, but mainly international. And that's the reason why we've set up the DittoTalk, so that when you get to the end of the presentation, you go straight into the For Life server and you can get your For Life ID and purchase a pack, the product, and get signed up and you're ready to go. And all within a couple of clicks. And so that's the purpose of it. But I've learned, especially on this trip, that not all countries are equal, meaning some countries still are not up to date with technology, online technology, and they require hard copies of applications. Now, I know this doesn't apply to everybody on the call, but it may in the future. Hopefully you'll have business international and in a number of countries. And so it's real important to know how each country is. So we're creating a little document for those that are using DittoTalk. This will be in the training section as well on gofordna.com that will it'll just briefly explain each country, like For Life has on the back end office of the For Life website, how to do business in. We're going to have the same thing, how to do DittoTalk in. And then that way you'll know, for example, Singapore, they have online sign up, but believe it or not, they only take PayPal. The credit card system is not set up. And apparently the distributors really didn't want it at first because credit cards were very expensive. There was an extra fee involved, but now they want it. So 4Life's working on setting up credit card usage in Singapore, for online purchasing. Then other countries like Indonesia and Malaysia don't have online signups. They require a hard copy of the application. So each country is unique. Fortunately, Mexico, and this applies to many of you that are on the call today, Mexico has complete 100% online sign up and credit card purchases. So as we roll out the Spanish, the various countries on DittoTalk, you'll see which you'll be able to sign people up and purchase product right through the DittoTalk presentation. And so some countries, as I mentioned, are 100% online. Some require a hard copy of the application. The ones that do require a hard copy, we're not going to create a DittoTalk for every country that requires we'll create them for each country, but we're not going to create separate DittoTalks for each country, if that makes sense. This means we're using the same presentation, but what we're going to do is we're going to, let's take South America. We'll have all of the 4Life applications in one download. So that way, when a new distributor, if it's required a hard copy of an application, when the new distributor gets to the end of the presentation, they'll put their email in and they'll receive an email with the applications. Now, yes, they will get multiple applications from various countries by region. Like let's take South America, including Colombia, Ecuador, Chile, Bolivia. Want to make sure I don't miss any. Panama. The Latin countries. If they require an application, we're not just going to have onesies. We'll have them all as a download in a PDF, and then of course they'll just fill out the application that is with their country. So this trip was amazing that we did. The Philippines was awesome, and I don't know if you know this, but the Philippines is the social media capital of the world, and so I know they're going to go crazy using DittoTalk. And what I was amazed with is that there's more Filipinos that live outside the Philippines than inside. And so what I've been encouraging them to do is reach out to all the people in all these countries, especially in the USA, because you've got a full online presentation now, and they can get an ID number and sign up. And they're doing it. Many of them are already sponsoring people in the US now with this system, which before it was difficult, because a lot of times they didn't know what to do, how to present. They would call, they might try doing a FaceTime call or a Facebook call and try to sponsor someone, but that's not really giving a good presentation. And so that's what this will do. And I'm just really excited about the fact that people are now sponsoring international. Now, this coming week, there's going to be a lot of activity going on. 4Life, we've been working with 4Life on getting everything set up for these upcoming countries. And I do apologize. It's taking longer than we had planned, but you all know, and that's why we did this lifetime membership, by the way, because I would feel bad if everybody was paying a monthly fee. So you all know you get this for life, and there's going to be a lot of really cool things coming up with the DittoTalk presentation. But 4Life, I spoke to them yesterday, Jeff Callanan and Andy Weeks in the IT department, and they should have coming out this coming week everything we need for a number of countries. We've been waiting for the item codes for the packs and the prices because each country is different. And we should have that for sure by the end of this coming week, but I would anticipate even Monday or Tuesday, you will see the new presentations. So when you go to log in to DittoTalk, just be aware that things are going to change a bit. Right now, when you log in, you see a couple of presentations, English and Spanish, and that's about it. Well, we're going to set it up so that you will click your presentation, and then you'll click your country and language. And eventually what we're going to do is set this up so that, take the US. If you log into the US, well, we want to have it in multiple languages, because if let's say someone is in Philippines and they've got a relative over here that speaks mainly Tagalog, which is their language, well, then they can do a presentation in the US in Tagalog, and it doesn't have to be English. So it'll be customized, in other words. And down the road, what's really exciting, and I just learned this coming week, or last week, as I was traveling with Mike. He's the CEO of DittoTalk. He was with us in Singapore, Manila, and Kuala Lumpur. And he was telling me that eventually the plan is to make DittoTalk so that you, the user, can customize it. So in other words, all the bullets will be there, but you'll be able to add things like, even your testimony or maybe something that you're working on that applies to your presentation. So there'll be a lot more customization to DittoTalk. Also, the new HTML5 version should be coming out, will be coming out this quarter, probably towards the end of the quarter, which is March, here in, I would say next month, but it'll be next month in a couple days. And excuse me, everyone, my screen went dark here. I just want to make sure I'm back on. Okay. And the HTML5 version, that will remove the Puffin browser. And I don't know, and what that means for those of you that don't know Puffin, it's a browser that you use on smart devices, cell phones, iPads, and things like that. You just download it from the App Store. And the Puffin browser, it was mainly created for gamers, people that are into gaming. And you need to know that if you're going to present with DittoTalk, you have to use that browser in a smart device, not a computer. If you have a computer, you're fine. But a smart device, you will use the Puffin browser. Well, that will not be required once the HTML5 version comes out. You can use any browser from any smart device. So you could be on the road somewhere and you could be DittoTalking someone, right on the fly from a smart device. So we're excited about that. Now let's talk briefly about lead pages. I showed you the video and we've got it uploaded, and I'll play it here as well towards the end of the presentation so you can all see it. The gentleman who has been working on the questionnaire has finished that up, and we should have all of that set up here. I know all of your emails, every single one of you that have purchased the DittoTalk presentation, your emails have been uploaded, so everything's ready to go. Again, you should be receiving, once the questionnaire is set up, you should be receiving your lead page information. Now, just so you know, the lead page, again, that's not to generate leads for you. It's for you to put it out there on the internet, on Facebook, wherever you so choose, and you'll have to drive traffic to it or invite people to take a look at it. And it's just a great way to break the ice and say, hey, I started a new business. Check this out. Now, there's all kinds of ways you can drive people to it. And I am not an internet guru, and there's probably some people here that may be that are on this call. So use your strengths and, just whatever you need to do. I tell people that if your strength is in advertising, or internet, whatever it may be, great. Use that to start your business. But at the same time, hone in and work on your other skills that you need to develop, such as it could be anything from communication skills. One of the things I know that people struggle with a lot is getting into other people's market. And that should be the easiest thing of all, because when you go into someone else's market and talk to their people, they don't know you. And you're going to find that you'll have more credibility with strangers than you do with your own friends and family and people that know you, because they're going to judge you. And so when you're talking, to someone who's a stranger, you can, portray yourself and come from a position of strength. And if you're prepared and you've got knowledge, you talk to someone, use that strength, use that knowledge, and show them that you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. What will happen is that will strengthen your character, and it will also help develop your skills, and you get better and better. Then when you go back to some of the people that know you, they say, my gosh, you've changed, you're a bit different. And when people start seeing this change and they realize that you're serious about building this, then all of a sudden, family, friends, and neighbors, they want to jump on board, especially when they start seeing the success you have. Now, that doesn't apply to everybody, but the reality is, hey, if you're being successful and you're making money, you're going to get attention, and that's what I did. When I first started, I wanted to draw as much attention as I could with people that knew me. So I figured, okay, I'll start talking to strangers first, and I'll get really good, and then the people that know me, I did plant seeds. I talked to them. Don't get me wrong. I didn't wait. I did talk to them all, but I also knew that a lot of them were going to look at me and say, "Oh, here we go again," because I've done it before. Now, in my 20s, though, I made over $1 million. I was a millionaire and found myself starting all over again. So many people looked at me almost as a failure in a way, because it's like, "Oh, great, I was successful, but it didn't last." Well, that wasn't my fault, because I associated myself with a company that was a decent company, but the CEO didn't really know what he was doing. And so, his decisions affected everybody, including me, and the company went down. That's why, well, most of you know that have heard my story. I came with 4Life and chose to be with 4Life simply because David Lisenby, when I met him, I knew that with or without me, 4Life would be successful. And so, since I felt that way, I thought, okay, I've got to join. And I was right. Now, here we are over 18 years later, and my organization, now I'm not saying this to brag, but just to make a point, it spans in over 150 countries with over 500,000 people. And there are times when I ask myself, is it real? And yeah, it's real. And I ask myself, is it going to last? Yeah, it's really going to last. The company's rock solid. We got a AAA rating with a Better Business Bureau, no complaints. Here we are developing new products, debt-free company. I mean, it's amazing. And I'm just real excited about the future. And the greatest thing of all is that we've not hit critical mass yet, you guys. So if there's ever a time to really focus and dig in and spend just a few years on your business, you're going to have to give up some things. Yes, it's a sacrifice. I know it is. But you know what? It's extremely rewarding, and your family will appreciate everything you're doing for them. Because I really think about it, that's why we do this. Yeah, it's wonderful to have nice cars and, travel around and live a great lifestyle. But in the end, we're doing this for our families. We want to leave something, a legacy, yes, but as well, we want to leave, financial security, to our family members so that they don't have to struggle and worry. And that's really what motivated me when I got started. For those of you that know my story, I met Gabby when I was 38 years old. And here I am now. I'll be 57 in a couple of months, so going on 20 years now. And when I met her, I really didn't have anything to offer. I was just starting life all over again. And for those of you that have read my book, will know that I just gotten out of a prison camp. And I apologize if there's anybody online here. I didn't kill anybody, so don't worry. The point is this: I was starting life all over again, literally. No car, no house, but I did have a future. I knew that. I knew I had a future because I could breathe. I had my health, and I was ready to go. And I say I had my health. The reality is I was struggling with Crohn's disease at the time, but I have my health now, and that's what counts. So I know what it's like to have to start all over again. I don't want to ever do it again, but I know what it's like. And the interesting thing, though, let's just say if I had to start over again. I've done it twice. I did it in my 20s, and I did it in my 30s and up to now. And if I had to, next time around it would be even faster because I know what I'm doing. I've got greater tools. I've got greater resources. And so, but that's not going to happen. Why? Because we've got a fantastic company. And so there may be some new people on the call here today. I don't know. If you are new, what this is all about is this is a presentation that we've developed called DittoTalk. And the person that invited you on the call can get with you and share more information about DittoTalk with you. But I'm just very excited about this technology. And we're the only ones in 4Life, by the way, that has this. So we do have exclusivity, just so you all know. So you're not going to see other 4Life DittoTalks. This is it. And if anybody has any suggestions, by the way, that's what the 4Life DittoTalk Facebook group is for. For everyone to share information, suggestions, testimonies, ideas, whatever it may be. And there's already about 70 something members that have joined it. And so I would encourage you all to join it as well. So let me take a quick look at my notes here, make sure that I'm covering everything. Oh, this coming week, I'll be in Colombia. No, I apologize. I'll be in Colombia on February 11th. This coming week, I'll be in Africa. But I will be in Colombia on the 11th with Gabby, and we will be talking about the art of presenting. That's what this whole tour has been all about, and sharing DittoTalk with people as well in Colombia. And we should see the Columbia presentation online by that date. I spoke to For Life yesterday, and they've told me that they should have everything set up for Columbia by then. And let's see, that's pretty much it on my notes. And so let's talk a little bit about networking now. And, how you should be building your business. I tell people there's no one way to build your business. There's no one perfect system that works for everybody. Each of us need to find what works for us. But there are some things that I know that are just, common denominators when it comes to building the business. For example, keep notes. I see a lot of people, they talk to someone, but they never, ever more and more people, hear about this and they want to get involved. In the beginning, nobody knows about it. The pioneers start planting seeds, and a lot of people want to wait and see if the company's going to make it. A lot of looky-loos. Well, those that are the looky-loos, they're the ones that are the followers. The leaders are the ones that make it happen, and they're the ones that ride the wave and make a fortune. That's not to say that a person that's just looking can't jump in down the road and make a fortune. It's just that they're delaying their fortune. And I ask people this all the time. How quick do you want to make a fortune? You want to make it in a few years? You want to start making it now? So sense of urgency, and that's what I try to do, is create a sense of urgency as well when I talk to people. And so keep notes on people you talk to, whether you do that, on a notepad, or you've got an organizer in your computer or smartphone or whatever. But the point is this, that you should never be bored with this business. There should never, ever be a time where you're idle, wondering, what do I do now? Because you should be talking to people. All right. If you're not talking to people, you're taking notes, you're working on something, and that's, I tell everybody that's your 20% time. 80%, you should be engaged with your people. Now, I understand when you're first starting out, it's not that way. It's more like 80% preparing, 80%, learning and getting some knowledge, but start planting seeds right away. There's nothing wrong with telling someone, hey, I started a new business. I want to tell you about it. And of course, with the DittoTalk, you can start immediately presenting. So the point is, though, keep notes on people. If someone does not get involved, follow up with them. It could be maybe a month, 6 months down the road. And as you start building up your contact list of people that you've talked to in the past, again, you should be able to go back, 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, and always have people you can reach out to. I've got stacks and stacks of yellow pads, over the years. So, if I found myself idle, I could go back to the yellow pads and just start looking through names and numbers, and I guarantee you there's somebody I could call and talk to them, and they would treat me like a good friend, because when I did talk to them, I established a friendship with them. And that leads me to the next topic here. That's really what you're trying to do first. So it doesn't matter how you present, whether it's with DittoTalk or whether it's just sitting next to someone on a bus or a train, on a plane, wherever it may be, and you're talking to them. The first thing you're trying to establish when you're talking to somebody, unless you already know them and they're a family member or a friend, you're trying to establish friendship. You're trying to establish a relationship with them, and you're trying to find a common bond, and so it's very important. Now, I'll give you an example. When we were in Indonesia, I was told ahead of time that there would be a woman that was going to come to a dinner that we were having, and she's a celebrity in Indonesia. She's a very popular singer. Well, those of you that know me know that I love music. I play guitar. I used to travel around the country and sing, and I had a recording studio and all that. So when I met her, the first thing that I established was music and singing, and immediately we established a friendship and a bond. In fact, she sat next to me at the dinner table, next to me and Gabby, and we talked. And she's joined the Facebook forum. We're friends on Facebook and involved with DittoTalk. And she's already, I want to say she's a presidential diamond now in Jakarta. And so, excuse me, everybody, I've got a note here that I've been given to mention something. Who's this from? Barry. So anyhow, I apologize there. I just lost my train of thought, everybody. Okay, and in Jakarta, talking with her, we established a friendship, and she's just, I have no doubt that she'll make it to gold and hopefully platinum. And so that's very exciting. But when you do talk to somebody, that's the first thing you're trying to establish is a common bond. And so in presenting with DittoTalk, please just make sure that as you're talking to people, try to establish that friendship with them. And if you're talking to a stranger, it's very important that you come from a position of strength, that you know what you're talking about. So really know your DittoTalk. All right, don't come across as if you're reading it. That's very, very important. And so we've got Barry Blake on here with us. I don't know if he's dialed in or not. So I'm going to ask Corey here real quick. Is he dialed in or no? And so we might have Barry say a few words here. One thing I have to say, though, I'm a bit jet lagged from this trip. And so my energy level is a little bit low here today after traveling around the world and getting ready to leave for Africa in a couple of days. So it's a bit crazy. But anyhow, a lot of great things happening. I can just tell you that over the next 3 to 5 years, you guys, this is it. We are now in the phase of momentum. It's happening, and just watch what happens over the next 3 to 5 years. 4Life's going to hit critical mass, and it's going to be awesome. So this is the time, and have fun doing it, as well. So I'd actually like to take today and open some things up for questions. So I see we've got Toronto on, and a number of people. We've got the Philippines on. Great. We got a lot of new people that have joined in today, so thank you. Does anybody have any questions at all? I'm looking here at the text messages, because a lot of times I do this and I don't pay attention to the text, and I want to make sure that any questions are being answered. Great, Ida, I see you're in the Philippines. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. Can you request a Veo? What's a Veo, Ligaya? You mean video? I don't quite understand the question, and I don't understand exactly what video you're referring to. So if you want to ask that again, I'd appreciate it. Okay, so Barry's on here. What I want to do is bring Barry on the line and have him just talk to y'all. And I have to learn how to do this here with DittoTalk. Let's see. Barry, you on with us? Can you hear me, Barry? All right. I guess apparently Barry is on, but we can't. He's setting up his mic, he says. Okay. All right. So until Barry gets on here, he's going to share some information with us as well. I just want to say that Barry has been heavily involved with setting up the DittoTalk and getting pushing the company, even the lead pages, talking to Tyler, who's the gentleman, the neuroscientist that's been helping us with the lead page questionnaire and getting the profiling system set up. And again, that should be out this coming week. All of you should receive the information on your lead pages. So are you with us now, Barry?
Can you hear me, Dave?
I can hear you through my speakers, yes. Can everybody else hear?
Very good. Well,
there might be an echo. Hang on a second. Just because. Okay, Barry, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and share with everyone information that you and I talked about. And I'm going to go ahead and mute you out because you're coming through my speaker, and that may cause an echo. So go ahead, take it away.
Thank you, Dave. Good morning, everybody. It's very early where I am in my part of the world, so I have a good morning voice on, but welcome, everybody. Thank you, Dave. We have a couple of new announcements that we can make. We have a PowerPoint version of the ProTF DittoTalk, and we're just going to figure out how to get that probably up on the DNA site, or in any case, available for everybody to use. You can use that PowerPoint presentation. You can take slides out and incorporate it into your own PowerPoint presentation you do for meetings. There's some really good slides in there. You can also incorporate the video that we're going to be using in the lead pages as well, who's the voice of whom sounds like a gentleman we all know and love very much from the movies. it's a great way to come to an end of a presentation, maybe play that movie, that little video clip, maybe 4 or 5 slides from the end, and then take it back and control the meeting again. And it's a fantastic video. So it's quite easy to incorporate that into a meeting if you put that into your PowerPoint. So we'll get the technical guys figuring out how to get that presented to everybody. But possibly the DNA site, I think, Dave, could be a really good place to have that. Maybe we put up a new little menu tab or something under tools or whatever. But I think that's a really powerful one. You won't want to run the whole DittoTalk PowerPoint as your meeting, because there's other things obviously you'll want to say in your meeting with products and about 4Life, but there are some really good slides in there. So we also know that we'll have the Philippines, New Zealand, and Australian TF Plus DittoTalk versions up early next week. We've now received, and that's guaranteed, right? We have the coupons and what we need now from 4Life, so they'll be going to the DittoTalk guys early in the week. So, and we also hope to be able to be beta testing and split testing on the lead pages this coming week as well, testing the functionality, and that's something we're all hanging out for, of course, so we can get onto our social network advertising or sharing, getting people to go to a lead page. That's when DittoTalk really changes gear for a lot of people who are wanting to reach outside their own country and move into other markets. It's difficult to do that. Nothing quite like a meeting, of course, and I run meetings and we all get together in meetings once a month, once a week, whatever we do. And but to reach outside your own country, of course, that's where DittoTalk really comes into its own. So talking all around the world is just the same as talking to someone in your own backyard. DittoTalk is just so easy to use. My own personal trainer, John O'Marsh, did his first proper ProTF DittoTalk the other evening, and it was just to a client of his in the gym. He'd only talked a couple of times about 4Life to this gentleman, and he said he really liked the sound of it, and could he know some more? And Jono just said, yeah, sure, have you got 15 or 20 minutes one evening or tomorrow night, I think he said, and I can run a quick, fantastic presentation past you. So the guy said yes, and 40 minutes after he started doing his DittoTalk presentation, this gentleman signed up. He chose starter pack number 3, and Jono had himself a new leader. He then went into the DNA site and got his own DittoTalk, signed up for the DNA site, and he's all ready to go. And the thing that we love about this so much is that every single time now that this gentleman does his own DittoTalk or practice, he's getting a real motivational kick for himself from doing his own DittoTalk. So that's one of the other huge things about DittoTalk that we perhaps don't make enough of, actually, is that how motivational it is for the presenter, and getting that kick right back into your own motivational area just simply by doing a practice run for yourself. You can go through and get your own injection every morning about what you're into and what your opportunity is that you're offering people. So you get your language right again and again and again, because as Dave says, it's practice that makes perfect. I've got people in my team who have done up to 6 and 7 DittoTalks a day, and when I talk to them the next day after they've done a 6 or 7 run the day before, it's almost like second nature to them. Yes, they've got the script there, and yes, they're using it, but they're adding all their own little inflections in their voice. They're changing the script in little tiny ways that make it really theirs. It's easy to think that as you get better at doing DittoTalk that you might sort of make it so you make up your own words, but this is a monkey do, monkey see kind of business. We just want to keep repeating the same thing over and over again to keep it simple. So even the top guys who are doing DittoTalk are still using the script, changing it to what they think their automatic language is. So they're personalizing it without even realizing it. and that's the magic of it. So I'm really proud of Jono having done his first Ditto Talk. He loved every second of it. He said it was so simple at his end, and the guy just came aboard. So look, it's an incredible system, and we're only going to be helping this thing get better and better and better. We're getting great ideas from the team. If you're not on the For Life Ditto Talk page yet, make sure you get yourself in there, because that's when we get ideas from everybody, and we can help little any hiccups, we can sort them out on the fly. So I'm just very grateful to Dave for having started us all down the Ditto Talk track, and I know his energy and time that he puts into all these things. So just on behalf of everybody, I just want to say thank you, Dave, for everything that you do, and we're very grateful. So yeah, back to you, Dave. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Barry. I appreciate that. And thank you too to you, because we'd probably still be working on the script if it wasn't for you. Barry was heavily involved in creating this whole project. So Barry and I go way back too. We've been working together now for 16 plus years, 17 years. And so, and that's what's great about this business, you guys, is that you develop these friendships, these relationships. Barry was at our house after convention. He was in Atlanta. For those of you that were there, you met Barry. He was here at our house, and I've stayed at Barry's house. Been down there in New Zealand a number of times. And so it's great. And, we've met in other parts of the world, like South Africa. We were there together at Cape Town. And we'll probably be in Korea together as well at the convention. So it's fun to build a business with people that you enjoy being around, and that's why I look at people that are networking, and I can just see why some people make it and some people don't. I want everybody to make it, but there comes a time where you have to just kind of open yourself up and say, hey, all right, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to do exactly what they're saying, what they're doing. If you do what we say, what we do, you're going to get the same results as we do. Granted, it's going to take a little bit of time to develop the skills, because we talk different. And there's, if you're a networker, you've been in the business for a while, you kind of talk the talk, and especially if you can start talking, if you have a prospect and you're talking about just the industry and things, it's obvious when you talk to somebody if they're a networker. For example, I just met in the Philippines, Paul and Gracie. Paul's from the United Kingdom. He's British. Gracie's Filipino. They're currently living in Vietnam, and they're actually starting in Vietnam, starting to talk to people and planning on opening up Vietnam, which is very exciting. And so everybody, one quick second here. I apologize. Something happened here. Hopefully you can hear me still. I don't know if I'm offline or what. All my chat and everything just went away. I'm just going to keep talking here, and hopefully I'm good. There we go. We're back. Okay. So what I'd like to do is answer some questions that are on here. But real quick, let me tell you about Paul and Gracie. They're in Vietnam. Met them in the Philippines. When we met, we started talking. You can just tell when somebody knows the business. So it's very exciting when you get somebody like that that's been in the industry. They're looking for a home, and they're anxious and ready to go. And it's very exciting. But those people are few and far between. You're not going to see a networker just sitting down waiting for you to come along. What you need to do is you need to pay attention when you hear the rumblings of a company that's struggling or something's happened. I'll give you an example. Many of you know the Vima story. Vima, huge company out of Arizona, got shut down by the FTC because of some of their activities. Well, a lot of their people were looking for a home. Well, you can sit back and do nothing, or start reaching out to those people and say, hey, here's a home for you. Come look at us. And I did that. And I pulled a lot of people from Vima into For Life. And so always be aware, be present. In fact, one of my good friends is a drummer, Joel Stevenette. In fact, he drummed at convention. He was the drummer that closed at the closing party convention. He always said the most important thing, in his line of work and in any line of work, be present. Just always be there, be in the present. And that's how it is with this business as well. So I'm looking here at the questions, and I want to go over some of these because there are questions now, and I want to make sure that we answer them. From Farah, thank you, Farah, for this question. Are we going to discuss any part of the DittoTalk feature or presentation tips? Well, yes, we can discuss that briefly, but the best way is to start using DittoTalk and then you'll be able to experience all the features. But DittoTalk is just simply a way to present. It's not the only way, but it's an online presentation designed one-on-one so that you're on your computer screen, they're on their computer screen, and you can present like a professional right away. As long as you can read, it's animated, there's videos, there's questions in there. The observer drives the presentation by clicking on their screen. So they can't, while you're talking to them, and you actually are reading to them, but you don't want to come across as you're reading, but while you're giving them the presentation, they cannot be on their computer, on Google somewhere, browsing around, or on the internet, while you're talking to them. And I guarantee you this happens a lot when you're talking to people. You might think they're paying attention, but they're not. And you can't tell because you're on the phone talking to them. So with DittoTalk, they have to be present. They have to pay attention because they're driving the presentation. And you can sign them up and sell them product right there in the presentation. So now the biggest tip to me on this, or the biggest benefit, if you will, is the fact that you can start talking to people long distance. They get a great presentation. You can sign them up. They can buy product right on the fly. And you can have them start DittoTalking from day one. If they can read, they can present. Now, here's the other thing about DittoTalk. When you talked about here in your question, one of the features I look at is this: training. How do you train your people? Well, in the past, I would tell everyone, you talk about the company, you talk about the product, talk about the opportunity, and so on. Now, I don't have to do that. It's still important. Everyone needs to know that. It's part of my training. I tell everyone you need to know your company, know your product, know your opportunity. But DittoTalk, when you're talking to someone, it's all there. So you don't have to spend hours preparing your presentation. It's done. Whereas before, I would tell people and they would go out, and it's kind of like if you ever played Postman as a kid, where you start with a little story and you tell someone else and they tell someone else. Well, by the time it goes down the chain, it hits the fifth person, the story's different. It's changed. Here, that won't happen. We're all on the same page, saying the same story. Doesn't matter what country you're in. And as Barry mentioned, we have the PowerPoint presentation coming out now. So if you're speaking to an audience of people, a group of people, use the PowerPoint. Same presentation. Now, they can't drive the presentation by clicking on things because they're sitting in the audience. But you can still show them the questions and the answers. And in their mind, they might answer the question, but it's a PowerPoint for an audience. So that's another great feature, is that the message is the same, whether you're DittoTalking one-on-one or you're doing a weekly opportunity meeting with a PowerPoint. It's to the point, it's precise, and it would take an hour-long presentation and cut it down to 30 minutes. Because a lot of people go to meetings and sit for hours, and they may not even have a guest. So they spend, I don't know, an hour driving, sitting on the meeting. They spend a half hour, an hour getting home. So there's, 3 or 4 hours that have gone by. I'm not going to say wasted, because you learned something, but your business didn't really grow. So I would encourage you, your weekly meetings are very important, but if you don't have a guest to take to the weekly meeting, DittoTalk, start using DittoTalk. So those are some of the features that I like about it. Then we've got another question here. What country? Yes, Michael. Michael, go ahead and you can message me. I will be in Kenya. If you have a contact over there, somebody you want me to reach out to, let me know. I'll be in Nairobi. But we can discuss that. Had a couple more questions. The other question I have is, apologize here. Is DittoTalk better for cold market or warm market? Both. Again, cold market, the only difference will be your enthusiastic voice. When you talk to a warm market, they look at you and they go, oh, yeah, you're excited about this, but tomorrow you probably won't be excited anymore because you've never been excited about anything for a long, long time anyhow. So that's how the people that know you judge you. Unless you've been extremely successful, okay, or you've got credibility with the people you know, and many of you do. I'm not saying you don't have credibility. I'm just saying that family, friends, and neighbors judge us. So when you're talking to a cold market person, man, change yourself. When I say change yourself, talk differently, come from a position of strength. When I talk to cold market, I guess I feel a little bit more powerful in my presentation. They don't know me. So, I come across as being strong with what I'm doing. When I talk to family, friends, and neighbors now, yeah, they see me, as a successful entrepreneur. But when I first started, they'd look at me and it didn't really matter my level of enthusiasm. In fact, my own dad said, it sounds like you're excited. Hope you can keep that excitement. Yeah, I'm still excited, Dad. And my dad's now an international diamond too, which is pretty cool. So warm market, cold market, doesn't matter. But I would encourage you, whoever you're talking to, show them the simplicity of DittoTalk and how this is an easy, simple, duplicatable system. And by the way, I think duplicatable is actually supposed to be duplicable, but we all say duplicatable. Looking here to see if there's any other questions. DittoTalk is great for motivation. What was the country that closed? Cheryl is asking that question. I don't know. The company that closed, I apologize. Vima. Vima closed their doors out of Arizona, and they were approaching $1 billion in sales. Becoming a large company, had a drink, a energy drink that was their focus in getting into the energy drink market. And, they just, bad administration, and here's the thing, you guys, you got to understand, people run these businesses. There's a founder for every company. There's a CEO. There's people that make decisions. Well, those decisions that they make affect everybody. That's why I love the video. And for those of you that have not seen the video, I would encourage you to watch it. Go to the For Life Research official YouTube channel. In fact, I would recommend that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, the For Life YouTube channel. And there's a video on there, and it's called David and Bianca Lisenby's For Life Journey. And that video, I really like it because you can tell David Lisenby, when he's talking, how seriously he takes this partnership that he's developed with us, the distributor. He understands that we depend on this. Our families do. It's our livelihood. And so they're not going to go out and make, risky decisions that could cause For Life to collapse. They're conservative. I like that. In fact, just so you know their colors, for those of you that know the colors in DittoTalk, red, green, yellow, and blue, David Lisenby and Steve Tu are red. They're CEOs, executives. So they like things to be in the box and contained. They don't like chaos. They like things very organized. And so they're not going to take risks unless they're highly calculated ones, but they don't do that. They move ahead, they move forward. And what they've been doing is working because we've grown every year for 18 years with businesses now in over 150 countries and offices in 25 countries, with more that will be coming. So, but that was the company that shut down, Cheryl. It was called Vima, V-E-M-M-A. And the interesting thing is I heard that BK Braco is out doing something else now. So this would be the fourth time around. And again, I don't like, bad-mouthing people or picking on them or whatever, but, come on. When you've gone through 3 companies that have crashed and burned, Metal Botanical, New Vision out of San Diego, and Vima, and now you're on to your 4th, I mean, gosh, I'd stay away from that with a 10-foot, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Okay, so, again, you are who you associate yourself with, everybody. So you want to associate yourself with people that you either admire, people that you want to be like, that you want to move the direction that they're going. You want to learn from them. They could be good mentors, but you also feel that they're not going to let you down. They're leading you in a direction that you'll be able to build, and you'll be able to be rewarded for your efforts and not find yourself doing the same thing over again from ground zero, 5 years from now. And that's what I'm excited about. And I feel extremely secure, with For Life. And I have to admit, I'll say this, over the years, I've had my moments where I felt insecure, and it was just me, because I've never been with a company this long. And it's like, whoa, this is amazing. I'm making more money this year than I did last year. Next year, probably more than this year, knock on wood. And so I kind of, every now and then I say, is this real? Yes, it's real. And it's exciting, but it's good to be that way too. Keeps you on your toes. Let's see, Luis has got there's a question here. Okay, so we've got a question from Luis. He says, one of the problems I'm running into doing DittoTalk outside the U.S. when the person signs up and we can't find content or can't meetings and stores to get their LP. Okay, Luis, here's the thing, and this applies to all of us. If you're talking to someone in a foreign market, it's important to use a DittoTalk for that market. We will have an emerging market DittoTalk set up. There will be no back end to it, which means they will not be able to get their ID number and sign up. You'll have to do that the way that we've been doing it in the past. So that would be done through an LP center if there's one in that market. If there's no LP center in that market for you to work with, my suggestion is don't start building in that market yet. There's plenty of markets to work in. I know that we always want to take the path of least resistance, meaning that if you got someone in a country like Congo, or it's a different name now, but Zambia, Africa, let's say, and there's no LP center, nothing going on in Zambia. If you're new to 4Life and you're not experienced at going out and opening up a country and getting a product registered and so forth, I recommend, and that costs a lot of money, by the way, I recommend focusing on a country where we have DittoTalk and we have, a store or at least an LP center. Like, let's take South Africa. That would be part of an emerging market because we don't have online signups there and so forth in South Africa, but we have an LP center in Johannesburg. So you can DittoTalk somebody, give them the information to the LP center, and they can, and by the way, all of this is on the Go for DNA website. If you go to Go for DNA, you will see an area there which talks about our LP centers. So you can look and see where I have my LP centers and how we do business in those countries. So you'll see Kenya, you'll see South Africa, you'll see, I even think Mongolia should be coming up there shortly. We've got a lot of good things going on in Mongolia now. So again, DittoTalk in countries where you can get product and you can sign somebody up. Otherwise, you're going to be racking your brain, trying to build the business. Yes, you can use DittoTalk in the Philippines, Ligaya. DittoTalk, the Philippine DittoTalk should be online and live. I shouldn't say should be. It darn well better be, because it's delayed. It was delayed a week. I expected to have that up by the time I hit Manila, which was on the 21st, a week ago. But there was a slight delay in getting some of the item codes, the URLs, if you will, to set up in the DittoTalk. But you will see when you log into your dashboard, the Philippine presentation will be live this coming week. So yes, DittoTalk them and get them over there DittoTalking to people over here and signing them up. That's the great thing about it. It's instant. You don't have to wait. South America LP centers. Yes, the ones I have will be displayed, Luis. Not the ones, if somebody has an LP center that I don't work with, if it's not mine, it will not be in the Go for DNA because I don't control it. And I'm not going to run the risk of sending someone someplace where I don't know what may happen. My LP centers are run by employees. They're not run by distributors. So you can rest assured that when you send somebody to LP center or you go yourself, you're going to get great service. They're very informed, very knowledgeable. They're going to care about you, treat you with respect and love, and make sure that you get off to a great start. Even some of the GMs that I have for these LP centers, like in Kenya, Evelyn, she does training. She trains distributors. They've been going out to colleges now, universities in Nairobi, and doing entrepreneur trainings and teaching people about network marketing and 4Life. And they're starting to really take off now. There's some great things happening in Kenya. So let's see if we got any other questions here before we finish our call. All right, I think that's about it on the questions. So I want to kind of just finish here today and first say thank you to everybody for being part of this. Join the Facebook group 4Life DittoTalk and participate in that and start sharing this with people. And you'll find the more you talk, the better you get, the better you get, the more you want to talk. It's a cycle, and it's an endless cycle of growth. So as you grow and get better and better, you make more money, and next thing you know, you're working with people that you have fun with, and it's a wonderful lifestyle, And so my goal is to get everybody presenting and DittoTalking and building a 4Life business full-time. Now, I don't know if you're full-time or part-time or sometime, doesn't matter, but I would assume that you would enjoy doing this full-time and making a great living and even a fortune around the world building your business, but most of all, helping other people be successful. So I want to end by telling this story. Many of you have heard this story. Some of you may not have heard the story. And I told this, everywhere I was on this tour, and everybody got a kick out of it. But it goes like this. This old man, he became a billionaire in the state of Texas. And he made his billions in oil wells. He had a lot of oil wells. So when he became a billionaire, he decided to throw a party in his mansion. So he invited family, friends, and neighbors and business associates to come over to his mansion and to enjoy the party. So the night of the party, they're all in his mansion having a great time. They're mingling and having drinks. And all of a sudden, the old man stands up and says, "Hey, everybody, let's go out to the backyard. It's a beautiful night. The stars are out. It's a full moon. So let's all go out in the back." So everybody moves out into the backyard, and they're outside talking. And all of a sudden, the old man walks over towards a swimming pool, and the lights are on in the pool. And he says, "Everybody, come on over here to the swimming pool." And so people start crowding over towards the swimming pool, and all of a sudden they look at the pool and they realize there's alligators in the pool. And the old man says, "Listen up, everybody. The first person that can swim across that there pool full of them there alligators, I'll give you one of three things. I will give you $1 million in cash if you can get to the other side alive. Or I'll give you one of my oil wells and you'll be an instant millionaire. Or I will give you my daughter's hand in marriage if you're a guy, and you can have it all." And all of a sudden you hear a splash, and there's this guy in the pool, and water starts flying all over the place, and he's swimming like crazy trying to get to the other side. The alligators are just about to tear off his arms and legs. He gets to the other side, pushes himself out. He's huffing and puffing. He's all beet red. And the old man looks at him and says, "I don't believe it. You did it. What do you want? You want $1 million in cash?" The man says, "No." "Oh, you want one of my oil wells. Okay, you want my daughter's hand in marriage, so you're going to have everything." And the man says, "No, I just want to know who the idiot is that pushed me in the pool." Now, here's the point. The pool represents our industry, our business, network marketing, your business and my business. So those of you that are on this call here today, every single one of you, you're on this call because somebody pushed you into the pool. So here we are in the pool. Now, some people are expert swimmers. All right? Those are the ones that are seasoned networkers, been in the business for a while, know how to swim. There are those that are learning how to swim, and maybe some don't even know how to swim. But guess what? Anybody can learn. All right? So be prepared to learn. And it doesn't matter what level you are of a networker or a swimmer, you can always be better. Now, the alligators, they represent the naysayers, the ones that tell you, "You can't do it. It's a pyramid. Those things are no good. Don't pay attention to them." The man in the pool that was swimming, what if he'd have stopped to turn around and see if the alligators were behind him? He made it. He would have died. So the point is, stay focused. Look ahead. That's where you're going. Never lose sight of your objective, your goal, whatever it may be. Hopefully it's platinum. If that's your goal, write it down and make sure that you're moving towards that goal each day. All right? Now, for those of us that have made it to the other side, the golds and platinums of the world, you need to turn around and extend a hand and help those others get across and start teaching and training others how to swim, or in this case, how to network. And that's what this is all about. It's people helping people, teaching people how to network, how to build a business, how to enjoy this lifestyle of together building people, having fun doing it, and making a heck of a lot of money at the same time, but helping other people to establish financial independence. That's what this is about. And with our products, the health that they establish, okay? Not just establish. I've seen people that were practically on their deathbed that are alive today with great health because of our products. So we've got products that help people. We've got an opportunity that helps people. So when somebody asks me, "Dave, how's your business doing?" My answer is simple. Fantastic. As long as there's people on the planet, I've got a great business, you see? So there's never going to be a shortage of people. And that's what we've got. So your business is always great. So thanks, you guys. I appreciate you all joining in here. And the lead page video. Thanks, Michael, for asking. We're going to close out with a lead page video. So here you go. I'm going to share it with you all. I'm learning a bit about how to use this whole webinar system. So we now can upload all these videos and just play them right on the fly during the presentation. So here's the lead page video, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Load it up, right?
Right here, Corey? Right there?
Yep. Play video.
Okay. Okay, everybody. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. Again, this coming week, there will be an email going out to all of you regarding lead pages and just a lot of updates that are happening. So we'll keep you updated, but be expected to get your information on your lead page this coming week. We've already got everybody's email uploaded into the system. Corey is in the process of just finalizing a few things and just troubleshooting and making sure everything works fine. Okay. And when I'm back on the next training, we're going to focus not just on DittoTalk, but lead pages as well. Because by then, many of you will have your lead page, and we'll probably have some feedback from people that are using it and so forth. So have a great weekend, everybody. And we'll talk to you. I will not be on the webinar next week, by the way. I will be in Kenya, Africa. And so, but the following week I will be on. And but I will try to dial in because I'll be in a different time zone. When I say won't be on, I won't be the presenter. But I may be on there just participating and listening in. So have a great weekend, everyone. Let's keep Ditto talking, presenting the For Life Opportunity products, and just have a great time, all right? We'll talk to you all soon. Thank you. Have a great week. Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm just...